let's get this going. Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're going. Uh, I guess I should probably get to get get to it. Um, um,
Yeah.
um, don't even know what to say. Sean, you take the wheel for a moment. I'm gonna.
I'll take the wheel. Well, fuck. I guess that means we are live. We're live here, sitting right before week 4 is about to kick off. We had a pretty ballistic week 3. It's
hmm
crazy that we're already 3 weeks deep into the season. Does not feel like the draft was that far away, but I'm
No.
excited. I'm excited to talk about some things. Look back at where we're at. Take a look at the matchups for this week, and we're kind of seeing like the first inklings of who some of the really early strong teams are, and which teams are kind of hurting right now. So that's an interesting time, I would say, in the league right now.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's super exciting. There's been a lot of drama, some injuries, some serious
Dude,
injuries.
yeah, a lot of
Uh,
injuries. Fuck.
uh, and yeah, I agree. This last week was relatively insane. Ballistic is I like that I like that choice for wording.
Yeah,
Um,
fucking ballistic.
I'm gonna get a little bit fucking ballistic on this great
Yeah,
alligator. Or wait a minute, no, crocodile. That's what we're calling them.
yeah. Go to
But
town, but we got to kick this off with that's basically our theme intro music now. Is
yeah,
the
yeah, that's
sound
that's all we really
of
have.
bong rip and cough. I want to hear the. Wait, are you doing a bong rip?
Yeah.
I want to. I feel like I haven't heard the percolation
Well,
for a
I don't know.
while. I don't know why.
I would probably because I have like a headset, like the PlayStation headset. There's no like
I want the microphone mouthpiece to literally be inside the chamber of the bong.
let
Like
me
I
see.
want
Let me see how skilled I can go. All right, so one second. I'll tell you what, Sean. While I take off the headset, why don't you go ahead and maybe how about going through like maybe a little standing rundown? That'd be a good place to get started. Like
All
maybe
right.
start
Yeah.
from the bottom to the top, or start a little conversation, and I will
Well, that's
get our
good.
our
That's good.
podcast music going.
Because right now I really only know who's on the top and who's on the bottom. I
Yeah,
think, yeah, I'm pulling up the standings,
almost
and yeah,
fucking dropped
it's
the headset. That was gonna be dashed headset like number 5. I think I'm
oh
about to
my
get to like
god,
4 or 5 of them.
another headset lost to the bong.
Okay, so here we go. So you go ahead, you can continue, and I will do what I can do.
All right, well, I'm gonna keep talking until the sound of smoking and coughing gets too much, and I'm just gonna stop. But yeah, so damn, we're 3 weeks in, and most of the standings right now, it's pretty much everybody's at either 1-2 or 2-1, except for Chris, unfortunately at 0-3, and then you got Misha at 3-0. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those overall standing situations. I mean, we're still early, but anyone could do anything. Obviously, right now, I like it when there's not a bunch of people that are 3-0 and a bunch of people that are 0-3. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I like when we have the log jam of most people being within like one win or loss of each other.
Yeah, we're all really, really close. I mean, how many? Let's see. It's almost,
I
yeah,
mean,
perfect down the middle.
yeah, and even if you look at the like the points for, I mean, there is a pretty big gap, honestly, though, and some of the top teams are like 430, 443, and then Nate way down at the bottom, 297. So it really actually is a pretty substantial point disparity. So that I think the way the first few weeks have been, I could see points being an even bigger factor of how the standings are going to shake out, determining who's going to be on the bubble for playoffs or not. Because, dude, it's some weeks there are teams that score 170 and then another team that scores less than 100. Like, it's been pretty fucking wild, I gotta say, with the up and down scoring of like some of the different teams.
It has been
So
pretty. pretty up and down. And just really quickly, kind of to that point, um, the week that we missed, week two's final score, the highest score was Phil, which isn't a surprise because I think he got the
Congrats.
highest score this last week too.
God
So it's
damn, dude.
fucking
Yeah.
two times in a row that he's gotten top score. So he got 147.8, and the lowest score that week was 80.2.
Yeah. So 67 67 point disparity.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a,
That's
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 that's that's a
huge.
lot.
That's a lot. That is
Well, and
that.
it's even bigger if you look at this last week.
Oh God, this
There's
last
an
week.
85 point disparity between the lowest scorer Nate and the highest scorer Phil. Again,
Oh my
90
God,
to 175. Like
75. Wow,
Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. The this I guess maybe a majority of this podcast is probably going to be talking about this last week because it was pretty insane. So I mean
Dude, it was crazy. I don't really remember, and my memory is not so good, but I don't remember a lot of weeks in fantasy history where this many players have gone off for like 40 plus. Like usually there's like always a week where one person does or maybe two people do, but there was a handful, I feel like this last week.
well, I mean, obviously you've got the one Dolphins game that's supposed to be like 3 points away from tying from what like tying the highest scoring NFL game of all time.
Yeah, God,
Uh,
70 points, fucking
70
nuts.
points. Like so that's fucking ridiculous.
So you had multiple people there. You had well, Tua just under 40, Tyreek Hill, I forget, but he had a really monster
Monster.
game. And then
Yep.
you had fucking Raheem Mostert and Devon Achan all go fucking nuts, like into the 50s, like four people on one team
Mhm.
got that much. I
How
mean,
how how
that's
how many? Yeah,
insanity.
like how many touchdowns like all together between them? Like I know what's his name? Fucking Achan had 4 touchdowns just for himself. Mostert, oh fuck, I think he had at least
I
like
feel like
three or four, like at least maybe
he had three rushing TDs and one receiving, so he had four. So the eight touchdowns between two running backs on the same fucking team. I mean, I don't
fucking
know. I
it.
don't
That is
remember that
insane. That's a
ever happen. I've never
no,
heard of that
no,
happening
never,
before.
never. I can't think of that ever happening. I mean, that's pretty fucking insane. Like 8 touchdowns just from the running back department alone. Not to
Yeah,
mention that, you know, I mean, what those are. So three of those, was it three? Yeah, so three of those TDs, three of Tua's TDs were to running backs, and I'm guessing he had maybe one to Tyreek.
probably at a Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
157 touchdown, 9 for 11.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts, dude. That game is insane. And then
But
let's
that
see
was
you.
not the only insane game.
No,
Like talking
dude.
about insane performances, and I guess we'll come back to a few others because there's one that I do want to talk about, but not just
I
yet.
mean, I think I can guess which one, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Um,
I was gonna say there was one. Who was it? I think it was on Phil's team where he had, yeah,
He has
two fucking
two
people.
fucking receivers that went over 43 points.
Yep.
Dude, those two people alone matched basically the lowest scoring team for week three in the league,
That's pretty
which I think was
silly.
Nate's team. Yeah, that's
That is
fucking
silly.
nuts, dude. But Devonte Adams, I mean, and Devonte Adams felt like it was like a quiet 43.2
He
compared to the
he
other explosions that were
dude,
going off in the
dude,
league.
he was targeted 20
I know.
times.
I was watching
20
that game. They
times.
would. It's like they would because I have Jacoby Myers, so I was watching that. And I was like, God, dude, just every time that's their only
That
fucking
is
play.
every fucking play. Jesus, if what's his name? I wish I could go to the fucking, oh God. So who is it? Is it Garoppolo is
Garoppolo. Yeah, I
okay.
mean, you have to think that the vast majority of his production on the day,
I got to
you know,
see
was
how many
like
attempts.
83. I bet like 80%
Okay,
probably went to.
44 attempts.
Damn, that's a lot.
That's almost half of the
So
entire passing offense.
almost 50% target share. Like
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy, dude.
dude, insane, insane.
So 43, Phil gets 43 from Devontae Adams, but no, he's not done. Not all okay, and then I mean, this is kind of a double doozy situation, but then he has Keenan Allen,
Mm-hmm.
47.46
Well,
points.
not only that, but
Uh
he's got Herbert on top of it.
that's what I was saying, double dip. He has fucking Herbert. So remember how I forget what week it was, we were saying how there's hardly any QB stacks in our
No,
league, and
yeah,
I think it was just Phil with
yeah,
Herbert and Keenan Allen,
that
and
was
maybe
it.
that's changed with some free agency stuff. But man, that's looking like a pretty fucking sweet stack right now.
Oh, Misha has a stack.
Oh, okay, who does he have?
He has Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown.
Ah, okay, so there's
Good.
two.
That's good.
That's
That's a
yeah,
good stack. I really
yeah.
like that. I really like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, fucking Keenan Allen, dude. 20, 20 attempts,
Yeah, no. So
18
he also in the same vein was targeted 20
targeted.
times,
Yeah, they were
but he got
both targeted
18. He
20
got
times.
18 of them. He caught 18 fucking touchdowns, and he
He
also
had,
had a fumble.
God damn, dude.
So
That's crazy.
without that fumble, he possibly would have been like 50 burger.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's insane. And it sucks for Nick too because Nick actually put up probably his best game of the season.
Yeah, yeah. Nick was what, maybe like the third or fourth highest scorer
Yeah.
of the week?
Like, and what are you supposed to do? Like, if you're Nick, like, how fucking
Wow.
pissed are you if you're
He was
Nick?
the fifth highest scorer. Just to put it in perspective, Nick had
Jesus, 40 something.
145.7. It was still only the fifth highest scoring team of the week.
That's fucking it. I love John. I love the scoring so much. Like, let me tell you guys, I am so happy in fantasy, win or lose, when all of our teams are like putting numbers up. Like seeing players go off for big numbers, I think is a lot of fun.
But it's
And
not. I mean, how? What would you say about the scoring? Because the scoring system isn't that far off from ones that we've done in the past. Like there's, little 1 point bonuses for going over. I mean, at least
they're
it's a
okay.
straight up PPR. The QB
Yeah,
TDs are six again, so that's
yes,
nice. But
it's the fact that it is a straight up PPR, which I think I've
yeah,
wanted for a long time, but I don't think we've ever actually gone that far, right? Like I think we've always hovered around the point 0.5.
no, I think we've had straight
Have we had?
PPRs a few times before. I felt like
I
the
don't know
going
about
to
a
point
few
five
times
for
before. I feel
okay.
it might just be if we ever did it, it would have been once. But this is where I need the league to come on in
Yeah, we
as
need some consensus here.
yeah, cannot remember all of these details, but I feel like for the longest time we were always a half PPR league, or we diddled. We had times where some of our commissioners would throw shit ton of bonus types of points out there. Like you get a
Yeah,
1 point
yeah.
for 100, 200, like all those different things, which I feel like we for the most part kind of did away with. And there are a few
Hmm.
bonuses where people are like, no, I think this is acceptable, like a minimum bonus. Breaking 100 yards, get an extra point. Okay, I think
Yeah.
everybody can say
Yeah,
yeah.
but we've done, I remember at least one other time where it was like, if you get a reception that's
Of
over
like yeah,
40
40
yards
yards
or bust,
exactly.
yeah, you get,
Hmm.
there was like all these crazy bonus points where it
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck? I
It
can't
was
even keep up with all
exactly,
this.
and that was the problem is because we couldn't keep up with it wasn't easy to see like on the screen. Whereas I feel a full point PPR, you look at the receptions that guy got 10 out of 20 receptions. Holy
Yeah, you
shit,
can
that's
do the
fucking
math in your head pretty quickly.
yeah, absolutely. Keenan Allen, 18 of 20. Got 18 fucking points
18
from
points just on the receptions.
Like I'll take 18 from a receiver. I'll be very happy to have that. On top
Yeah.
of all the fucking yards, which he almost got. What was it? Almost 200? No, under, just under.
We're talking
No, no, no.
about
He
Keenan
he was
Allen,
over. Yeah, he was over
215,
215.
215.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, and I mean, Phil, his running backs did pretty good, and then a few little kind of dud performances, but still, I mean, to have basically his flexes and defense were kind of shitty, to be
Hmm.
honest, but everything else was so good that he's still the top scorer of the week, like, and it wasn't even that close, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I think the next closest was 15-ish.
160,
Yeah, fit
yeah,
like
so
15-ish
15
away.
points away. Yep.
Um,
Damn.
but yeah, God, Nick, I just feel bad. Like this, he had a great game. Like for you look up and down his team,
Yeah,
he had a really fucking
that's
decent
true.
game.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you could say Jameer Gibbs, that's a bummer, but like overall, like, yeah, his most of his guys, it was kind of like a get right game for Nick in a lot of
Yeah,
ways, even though
absolutely.
the he didn't get the W. But I don't
No.
know. Curious how he feels. You
Oh,
got a,
I
maybe a slight
we
mixed emotions,
dude, we
but
know
probably
how he
more
we know
disappointment than anything.
we know we know exactly how he feels. He's not on the fucking podcast right now. He should be on the podcast right now.
can't can't handle it in the podcast right
Like just
now. It's
just
just
can't
too
put it on
hot. I'm
out
running.
there.
I'm running too hot right now.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was a really good game from Nick, and I think his team obviously is starting to. I think it's starting to come together. So I think he should feel positive about moving forward. Just you're not going to beat another team where their quarterback beats you out. Your quarterback does 30, and their quarterback beats you out. You've got a running back and uh, a running back in the 20s, another wide receiver in the 20s. Your tight end is in the 20s. You got a 10 point, like over 10-point defense. Like everything about your team is going great, but you're not going to beat two guys that are
You're not going
hitting
to
at
beat
40.
90 points between two guys and
And
then a
yeah,
QB that gets 36.
yeah, and not only that, but look at Phil's running backs. We didn't even mention them. I mean, they're not slouching, 15 and 17.
Yeah, solid, solid.
So I mean, yeah, Phil's team. It's scary as fuck, and he is definitely, even though he's in second. We'll get to this fucking goddamn dirty Mish. We'll get to him soon enough. But I mean, Phil's sitting above everybody with what, 443 points.
Yep.
Funny enough, he also has the most points scored against at 400 and
Damn,
what, 12?
can't be trifled with.
No. So he's nothing's gonna keep him down. So it certainly is a shark sandwich. Got to be careful about it. Um,
Yeah.
okay. So what have we been talking about? The big what's another big performance that you could think of that you wanted to talk about?
I
Obviously
mean, I
we
was trying to look through. I guess that's it. I mean, Misha had Raheem Mostert, but we kind of, I mean, we talked about the
yeah, we
Dolphins
did.
already, and then there was a good chunk of 30 plus point players as well.
There were.
Um, so they don't. I mean, those don't pop off the eye chart obviously as much as these 40s and 50s, but there was actually quite a bit of 30s and a couple quarterbacks in the 30s, and
Hmm.
then some other running backs and receivers in the 30s too. It was just like points were coming in hot and heavy all God fucking all weekend pretty much. Like you look at um, even Nate, like Nate lowest score of the week. He's 1-2, but he had Kenneth Walker running back
Hmm.
on Seattle get 30.6.
Yep.
Like that's then you look at the rest of his team and there's not really much that you're feeling too good about there though.
Fuck. What the fuck? Look at Derrick Henry. Two
Dude, oh
points.
yeah, what the hell is going on with Derrick Henry? And look, he only had 11 carries, rushed for 20 yards, and was not targeted at all in the receiving game. Like, what? the hell? Why would the Tennessee offense not continue just to run
Dude,
through Derrick
Tennessee.
Henry?
Okay, this is my opinion about Tennessee. Tennessee has been just good enough to like be barely above average. But the AFC South is so fucking shitty that has been able to allow you to be like kind of the cream of the crop. Like
I'd be
the top
pissed if I
team.
was a Tennessee fan because it's like it's giving this like false sense of
Oh, totally.
I
That's
don't
why
know
they
if like if hope is the right word or what like security maybe, but like your team is fucking garbage. Like Ryan Tannehill is somehow still your quarterback. Like I would rather the team just tank and go draft one of the top QBs in the draft next year. Like this is ridiculous.
I yeah,
I'm fucking pissed.
I I would definitely be pissed too. Dude, they got DeAndre Hopkins who's on his what? Fourth team at this point in time?
Yeah, he must be. I don't know, man. I mean, I think he made some pretty good money going there, but like, dude, you're not Ryan Tannehill's throwing you the ball. Like, I don't know, dude. That's not going to
No.
be great.
Yeah, but I mean it's yeah, so we'll see. I think I mean obviously I think Nate beat me in week 2, so I know Nate's team has seen better days. So I mean I'm not all that worried about it, but yeah, even still that's pretty tough. So he's the lowest, and then what you got Will was the second one who got drubbed by Mish. Um
Yep.
and he
Yeah.
had Pat Mahomes in the 30s with 3 TDs.
Yeah. It was like not necessarily his like breakout game, but it was his highest scoring, Mahomes' highest scoring game. Had Travis Kelsey kind of back into form,
Hmm.
and that's always a bummer when you drop 31, almost 32 from your QB and the rest of your team, not the rest, but most of it just drops the ball. Like Alexander Madison, 17 and a half. That's nice. But otherwise,
It
almost nobody else even got to 10.
yeah, there's a lot wanting just all the way down. And then of course when you're going up across how Misha's team where he only really had one player that was under double digits. Um
Hmm.
and including, Mostert who had like 45 points.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt. Like yeah, that's tough. Yeah, another tough day for Will. Or
Yeah. Yeah, for Will.
yeah. Where are we? We're shit. I think I clicked out of the
I'm
Misha
nervous
and
about Misha's team. Like he's not he's not a lucky 3-0 right now. Like he's a legit 3-0 team. I mean, I'm looking up and down his lineup right now, and I'm like, shit, yeah, he's going to be a tough matchup
dude,
week in, week out, I think.
Misha's team is pretty terrifying for sure. Like
You know what I have to double down on, though?
hmm,
I don't, this probably won't be the last time I'll bring this up, but if you recall, I had some beef. I had some beef with Misha in the draft
yeah. Who was
because,
the player?
oh, I don't know, just this little under the radar guy named Raheem Mostert.
Oh, the guy who
Um,
just happened to drop like 40 some odd points right now.
the guy that I thought in the draft, as I'm sitting with my max bet of two, is all I'm able to bet. And the
Right, I remember
timer's
that.
going down to 1 second. Nobody else is even getting in on it. And then Misha fucking swoops him for maybe 3 or 4 or something like that. And there's nothing I can do about it. And man, then he gets to drop that 45 like that, and I'm just like, dude, what a steal. What a fucking steal of the draft right now.
Yeah, I definitely was going after AJ Brown, but I think there was Misha did get the better deal of that, but Garrett Wilson was the one I feel that your situation was very, very similar. I think I actually did verbally assault Misha in public square uh via text message or something where I was just like,
Yeah.
God damn it, like fuck you, Misha. But no, he's got a really strong team. And
Yeah.
I'm I'm nervous. I'm really nervous heading into this week. I'm trying to think. Did
Yeah.
we not talk about anybody? I guess we didn't really talk about mine and John's matchup. I mean, John,
No.
was just a little bit above, uh, just a little bit above Will, a point, 96. And he
Yeah.
had some decent performances. He had, Amari who had 25, Kittle who had 17. Definitely had a good start. That Bills game was just, oh my God, what a fucking ridiculous game. Uh, I
Oh
don't,
my God. Yeah. 31 from Bills defense.
dude, look, I mean,
Man.
it was basically that field goal that they got. They fucking got that like way at the end. I think I was sitting at like 34, 35 or more. Like that field goal ended up shaving off a lot of fucking points. But dude, they were just
9 sacks.
9 sacks, a forced
Oh my.
fumble
Four
recovery.
interceptions.
Dude, it was just fucking stupid. So, like, I
Oh
can just
my
imagine
God.
this is like John's watching, like, okay, looking for all those opportunities, and dude, it was just all the defense. The defense was just fucking killing it.
My God. Yeah, that's insane, man. I saw that. Obviously, like, what, the Cowboys had the big defensive game in week 1.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, oh man, I want one of those fucking defensive juggernaut games. Like, and we'll get to mine, but I had -4 from my defense last week. Like, god
Ooh,
damn it, dude.
God.
anyways. Yeah,
Uh-uh.
we'll get into that later, but um yeah, was it ever close with like early in the matchup with you and John, or did it start to get away pretty quickly?
That's a good question, actually. I have to look. I think I had most of my team going, and I was gonna finish. I think. Oh God, what was it? I think Rashawn Johnson was in either the afternoon, and then I just had the one. What was it Mike Evans? I think on Monday night. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that I think it was the combination of the Bills game, the Dolphins game, uh,
Yeah.
and I
Oh yeah,
and
because you
I
had Stephon Diggs in the Bills
yeah.
game too. Yeah.
Debo had already gone on Thursday and had a really awesome game. Um, if only I had not tinkered, not fucking woken
Oof.
on up, and just been
51.
like, oh, I think Raheem Mostert is he's definitely gonna be starting, and he's gonna get
So
way more
did you put
opportunities.
in Tony Jones or Roshan Johnson? Who was
I
your
I
who was your swap?
That's a good question. I think it might have been that's fuck. I don't even know actually now.
Not that it matters because both of those guys got under 10 points
They did
anyways,
not,
but
yeah, they did not do what I was hoping. But even still, it's all I remember thinking was if somehow this game goes to shit and I end up losing, I will quit fantasy football just completely and forever because I know that my failures have nothing to do with stupid fantasy gods or
it's
yeah,
your
yes,
own hand.
yep, exactly. You have to look right
That
in
could
the
have
mirror.
been, I mean, that
Disastrous,
honestly could have
disastrous,
been
disastrous.
such a haunting
Yeah,
situation right
exactly.
there. But the fantasy gods were very much on your side, and they gave you a nice little pat on the tush and said, "Don't worry about it, brother. We got your back this week."
Yeah, it was a pretty decent like even it was really just Mark Andrews who was the only receiver that wasn't doing much. My receivers
Yeah.
all are showing on up, which makes me feel happy. If I could get my actual starting running backs like
That's what I was
back
about to
fucking
say. The
in,
fact that your two starting running backs and good running backs, Eckler and
Aaron Jones.
Aaron
Yeah.
Jones, like the fact that you're 2-1 and you're putting up pretty damn consistently big points, like knowing that your team's about to be much stronger, you'd think either as soon as this week, if not the next week, like I mean, that's a good position to be in right now.
And I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I threw some gambles out there too of players that aren't available that I don't know, might or might not end up doing something. I know we got the Jamison William kid who's no idea what he's going to be like, but he was that really high draft pick. They thought if he hadn't gotten injured, he was going to be, in like, a top one. I know they got what's his name, your sun god. That I saw see the name change, but so I know they got Amon Ra, but I don't know. I'm hoping that the Jameson William kid will come out, and then who knows what will happen with the Jonathan Taylor situation. Um,
Yeah, true. Yeah, we're kind of getting into that.
it'll
Um,
be next week, I think.
yeah, like, and then who else? Alvin Kamara, I think, is
Hmm.
coming back this week. Like, we're at that week 4 where those guys are starting to get back in the league now or get back onto their team. So
Yeah,
yeah, should be pretty interesting.
yeah. I think things are gonna start shaking on up, and I'm hoping that my team is more or less. It's not getting too ahead of itself. I mean, I do have a lot of injuries, and I'm hoping they're not gonna last, or
Yeah,
we'll see what
yeah.
happens.
And on the flip side, yeah, John, his team's battling some injuries right now. Like, I mean, he's got Josh Jacobs as one of his feature backs who's struggling right now, but then he's got Kamara that he hasn't been able to play. Cam Akers with the trade.
Hmm.
Khalil Herbert hasn't really been much. He doesn't even have him anymore, actually. And he's got Ayuk that's been injured. Jalen Waddle has been injured. So John's definitely been doing a little bit of forced musical chairs with his lineup, and that's looks like it's being very tough for him to try and survive that way right now.
Well, I mean, he's got Kamara in his lineup right now, right?
Yeah,
Waddle.
you should. Yeah,
Um,
Waddle, I think, should
like
probably be
he's got a
back.
really fucking super strong receiving core. Like Waddle, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper,
Ayuk,
George Kittle, Ayuk. Yeah, right. Um, and now with Mike Williams gone, maybe somebody like Quentin Johnson ends up stepping on up. I know
right?
he
It could
was
be a little sneaky snag.
their rook, but who knows? Maybe he ends up stepping into a big role. I mean, I feel like, and he's got Josh Allen. Like
Yeah,
his team should be
yeah.
fine.
I think it's just in one of those rough patch phases where you're just like you can't get your squad healthy all at the same time.
Hmm.
But I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be all right.
What do you think about Chris's team? Because obviously Chris's team is. We've talked about Misha. We know Misha's team is all super scary, but at the opposite side of the scale, Chris is having some bad fucking luck. Losing Chubb.
So yeah, losing Chubb that hurts a lot. Has he lost anybody else?
So the last time we were talking, I think that was before Chubb went down, right?
You, I think so. Yeah, yeah. It was. It was. It was right before that.
So what is that? That's week 2, right?
Yeah, because this last week was his first week without having Chubb, but he got the replacement guy that put up a pretty nice little game.
Oh, dude, that blow. So, looking at week 2, he was playing Phil, who gets 147. Chris actually has a fucking great game, except for fucking Chubb, who goes down with a season-ending
So what? How
injury.
many points did What was the point differential in their
It was
match
a, it
that
was
week?
it was a 20-point differential. I mean, so it
Okay,
wasn't it wasn't like super close, but
could have been.
it could
I
have
mean,
been if
Chubb
if Chubb.
Chubb can easily put up 20 or more.
Exactly. So like it was 147 to 127. Lamar
So
Jackson
he
has 26. Bijan Robinson has 22. Metcalf has 13. What is that? Jordan Addison on the Vikings has 16. Zay Flowers has 10. Pittman has 13. The defense, he had Tampa Bay defense going 18. Like he had a
damn.
great fucking game.
Yeah, and he ran into the top scorer of the week that week
Yeah, and also lost his fucking best
and
player.
lost his best player. So Chris is he's the sixth highest scorer in our league right now,
Hmm.
which might not sound like that's that high, but if you actually stack rank it by points, he's the last team before things really start to drop off with the bottom four. So like he's kind of in there with around Misha and even pretty close, like semi close to me as well.
Yeah, so
So like
he
his team is scoring, but he's running into some tough matchups for points. He's number two for points
You're
against.
right. I was curious about that. Like, how badly is it? Like, wow, Phil, you're incredible. Like, you're just holding off the whole fucking goddamn dude. Phil is like fucking the Spartans right now. He is like just I don't fucking care. Like, I'll take all your goddamn points and I'll fucking shed them off and I will just keep slaying. Like Jesus,
So maybe
412,
actually,
and then you got Chris at what
and
was
then
it? Is it
Chris
388? Okay.
380. Yeah. I might actually, now that I'm looking at the stack rank of points against, remember how I was saying that Misha is like legit 3-0? Like, yes, his all those things, but Misha is the last in last for points against. So he's had a pretty soft road to get here, but I don't think that tells the whole story. But I don't know, just
No, I
kind of
mean,
interesting.
Misha likes using those intimidation tactics. You know how he does. Like he likes fucking like talking that shit, getting into your fucking head. So by the time you actually get into the ring, you're all fucking confused and shit, and you just completely shit the bed. Because that's all we've been doing.
Misha,
We've been
the
shitting the
meet
bed.
the tactic I that's hard for Misha is he'll be so quiet throughout the entire week, and you're just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I know Misha's pretty busy. He's got two kids. Like, yeah, I probably won't hear from him this week. Like, we probably just won't really talk about our matchup, and then he'll come in and just say a little something, a little jab in there that you just didn't even see it coming, and
Nope.
for some reason that hits extra hard because you assumed you weren't going to hear anything.
Nope. And well, I'm not nope. You're absolutely 100% right. Nope. Nobody
Yep,
buzzes like that fucking buzzsaw. Um,
that's the buzzsaw for you right there. Ouch.
yeah. Well, okay. So we got our 3-0 and our 0-3, and our determination is they're actually not that much different.
Right,
Like there's
not that far off as
no
far
like
as you read between the lines.
Chris has just had some unluckiness when it comes to who he's gone against. Misha has
Hmm.
had some very luckiness about who he's gone up against. Misha is 20 points ahead of Chris in scoring, so not really by much at all.
Yeah,
So it's just this game differential that,
any given Sunday.
yeah, absolutely. So Chris, you know what you need to do, and honestly, I'm not fretting because your team is there, and you're right. Like you got the backup. Um, was it Ford, Jerome Ford?
Yeah, Jerome Ford, who's yeah, it was a great backup play so far.
So, I
And
mean,
Chris almost, I mean, this was the only matchup last week that was actually even relatively close. It really came down to the Sunday night football game before it started to feel like, okay, like I'm pretty sure I have this one in the bag now.
hmm
So yeah, it was a tight matchup between me and him for most of the way last week.
yeah,
But
it's another really
yeah,
good game. It's another really good game from him, I would say. I mean, other than maybe the Seahawks defense not really putting on out, like you're getting double digits from basically every position. Like, how can you complain? It's just, yeah, you're wanting maybe a little bit more, like a Christian McCaffrey going for 22 or Justin Jefferson for 28.
yeah, yeah.
Like
You
you,
want some of these tens and elevens and 13s to turn into like 18s and 20s and stuff. Like they're
mhm,
just, it's like there's consistency, but not enough not enough big plays going on to
right.
really stride up to get the W.
So I don't know. Maybe that could certainly go anyway, either way, coming on up. So it's going to be
Hmm.
interesting to see how it all shakes on up.
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
think
to,
don't sleep. I'd say don't sleep on Chris's team, even though he's 0-3.
no, I wouldn't say so. I'm trying to think if there's anybody's team we haven't really kind of
We
like,
didn't talk about mine,
no,
and
because
I
I don't know
am
if
one
we
of the podcast people.
you are one of the podcast people.
No, yeah. Is there anybody else we kind of just
I feel
Claim
like
we
we
didn't really
kind of,
talk about Joey's
that's who
team.
I was thinking. I was like going through it. I
Yeah,
was like, I feel like we really only kind of touched a little bit, but Joey, like, where's he at? Let's take a look.
he had a really nice week. 147.8. I think he was the third or fourth highest scorer of the week. So
So
nice
he's the
get right
third,
game for him.
yeah, he's the third highest scoring team.
Yeah, so his team's solid. I mean, Tyreek Hill
Yep.
has been awesome. I mean, Mike Williams was great until you won't be getting any more points for him now.
No, I mean, it's the funny thing is like he's already so stacked at wideout, like, or not stacked, we'll just say his depth. He has a lot of depth. He's got Drake London, what is that kid? Christian Watson. That's his name. So
Oh yeah, he's got Watson on the bench. He's got Olave and Calvin Ridley,
hmm
and he just picked up the top waiver pickup this week. That Tank something or other. You see that
yeah, I think I did.
Tank Dell,
Hmm
who looks so maybe he's got a possible replacement for Williams in some aspect there. But you're right, like he's very strong at wide receiver. Lots of options there. And then, I mean, Tony Pollard has been a awesome running back so far,
hmm
and there's not really any depth at running back. I mean, he's got some guys, but yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, honestly, overall, pretty fucking solid team though.
and I will say a
I
big,
wonder. Well,
uh,
Joe Burrow obviously has been a thorn. The first 2 weeks, Joe Burrow was really hurting him, and then he finally slotted in Brock Purdy this time, and that was a good move. So I
right.
wonder how he's going to play that one out moving forward because
I
I mean
don't
he
know.
paid pretty good coin for Joe Burrow in the draft, but you got to ride the hotter hand.
Yeah, no, I mean you can't be starting Joe Burrow putting up those kind of numbers. I don't care how much
Hmm.
you paid for him. Like if
Yep.
if you're getting consistently bad numbers, I mean,
Yeah, you
what are you
can't just
doing?
throw
Yeah,
that
you can't.
can't throw
No,
that out on the field.
no, not at all. Well, okay, so Joey, yeah, Joey is he's doing well. His team's in
Yeah,
pretty good shape, and for you, my friend, you were sitting there also at 2-1.
I feel kind of lucky to be at 2-1. I mean, I think overall, I like a lot of most of my team. Honestly, my quarterback situation is very troublesome, though. Not how I had written this up or anticipated. Didn't think Trevor Lawrence was going to be looking so shitty this year so far, to where I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to play him this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it.
You gonna put Deshaun Watson in?
I'm contemplating. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna decide, but I'm gonna have to make a decision, obviously. And
Hmm.
I don't feel great one way or the other, but I felt worse not having any backup options. So at least I feel like I have some kind of option now.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do when it comes to I God damn it, I hate backups. I hate
Let me
having to
ask you a
do it.
question.
Hmm.
All else being said right now, if I offered you Christian McCaffrey for Tua, would you take that?
I don't see why I wouldn't take that. I just would not really know what to do about a quarterback replacement because I do not believe there's a single really startable quarterback on the waiver wires right now, is there?
That's a fair point. Yeah.
I mean, it like
I don't really think so. I mean, opinions
who?
aside, I don't see a lot out there right now.
So can we get to where is it? I want to look at projections. Trying to look at last week's stats. Here we go, stats. All right, by points. Oh my God. You know who the highest scoring quarterback last week
Like
was?
not non rostered, you mean?
Yes, on the waiver wire. Can you
God.
guess?
Nah, I can't guess off the
You
top of my head.
don't want to guess.
who who is it?
It's Andy Dalton,
Oh my God, the Red Rifle is slinging it again.
28 on the fucking waivers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. You got a fucking ultra juicy
Yeah.
QB backup right there.
No, I think he's going back to the bench this week, it looks like.
That's true. I think that was a one and done for
Right.
now.
But even still, like, I mean, you also got Kenny Pickett at 23, Garoppolo at 22, and those were your 20-point quarterbacks for last week
Yeah,
on the
and
waiver
like
wire.
coming in this week, Jameis Winston is about to be a starting QB in the NFL
I
again.
can't, I can't, I can't do it. Can't do it. No, can't
Yeah,
do it.
so
I,
it's here's an interesting point, and
mm,
actually no, I'll save it for later when we start looking at matchups ahead. But
okay.
yeah, outside of that, I mean, everyone else is doing what I would hope that they would do, or even a little bit more. Like obviously McCaffrey, Jefferson, Amon Ra, they're just holding it down every week, and even James Conner has been doing a little bit better than I expected. I mean, getting Puka on waivers for like
That's
five
got to
bucks or
be, that's
whatever,
got to be
that feels
awesome.
great.
Yeah, that's got to
Yeah,
be really, really nice. Because
yeah, and
he's been
then
pretty fucking solid. Like, okay, so he more or less kind of fell to his
he
maybe his
fell, but it
floor.
it really was more about how that game was,
It was a
and
shit game.
Stafford was looking like he had no time to throw because Puka still led the team in targets and
Hmm.
receptions and everything. But yeah, he hasn't scored a touchdown yet, so that's floating out there somewhere.
That's interesting, but even still, like 35 receptions in the first
Yeah.
two
And
games.
he it doesn't look to be a fluke, although, again, we don't know what's going to happen with Cooper Cup in the near
Right.
future, but it really looks like he's found a nice little spot in an area that Stafford likes to throw the
Likes to
ball.
get it
So
to
I'm
him.
optimistic that that'll still be
Hmm.
a guy that's like proved himself to not just be some flash in the pan, but I mean, it has only been 3 weeks though.
Yeah. No, I would say you're really, really, really strong at wide receiver. And then back like in doing in a very solid place with Christian McCaffrey and Connor, you're right, has been surprisingly, dependable. I'll say
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
in last week or last 2 weeks, he's been even a little bit more so, like 17, 19. That's great. That's I would say what you want to be seeing. So if you can get the quarterback situation more or less under control, like I would say you should be feeling pretty strong.
Yeah, I'm feeling like, I mean, there are guys on my team that can explode for those 30 and 40s.
Hmm.
Jefferson, McCaffrey for sure. St. Amon Ra could certainly do it too. But yeah, the quarterback's an issue. But so I feel like I like my team. I feel like I can match up. But if I'm going to run into those huge teams of last week that were scoring 160, 170, like my team isn't there. So it's going to be interesting to see just how the rest of the season goes. And I'm feeling like, I mean, I think how anybody feels. You just got to take your W's wherever the fuck you can get them, and then just
Absolutely.
hope for the best in the future.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, I guess that's, an interesting way to kind of maybe just lead up to closing this all out is maybe taking just a quick peek at what we do have coming on up
Yeah.
this week. So you actually talking about, what you're going to be running into. It's not going to be one of those high scoring teams. It's going to be Nick, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I mean, his team was pretty good, pretty damn good last week. So I'm not feeling
Decent.
like,
No, no, no. He had he
you
like
know,
we were talking about earlier. His team is on the up. Like he's got
it
Travis
is.
Kelsey back. He's got
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, and I swear to God, we have not seen like we finally saw some sort of a game last week where he caught what
Yeah. Yeah.
12 for 141. So that's great. Like that's more or less up to
Yeah.
par.
Cousins is playing out of his mind, just throwing the ball so fucking much. And then Zach Moss
It's a big
is
surprise.
like some fucking machine all of a sudden. And yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, Travis Kelsey. So No. Nick's got a team to contend with for sure. So I feel like it's going to be a tough matchup. And what I was going to say earlier, what adds a little bit of humorous intrigue to this matchup is if I decide to start Deshaun Watson, it's just funny to me because Nick had Deshaun Watson and
Yes, it
dropped
is.
him, and
And
I'm
dropped
picking him
him.
up. Yeah,
And it is Deshaun Watson, I believe, was also stolen from him in the draft when he was stuck in
exactly.
the dollar situation.
Yep, yep, exactly. So I don't know. That might factor into my decision if I'm doing a fucking coin flip.
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
might just go for the irritating intrigue of what that would do for Nick, but I don't know. Just kind of funny.
So Deshaun is going up against Baltimore.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, not
that's
an
a
easy matchup,
no, but
but
I mean, it's a division game though, so it's like
it's a division game. Yeah,
it's totally
there's
different.
fired up. Yeah,
Yeah,
different
exactly. It
atmosphere.
is.
And
It's a different type of game. It's hard to trust. Are you what's going on with Kareem Hunt? Is he no uh, possibly ready to play? But even still, you're already
no,
stacked.
no,
You're
no,
already yeah.
he's a little stash for now. See what happens with that. Um, so he'll stay on the bench. I think everybody else is pretty much where they're going to be. It's really just the quarterback that's the question right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Man, I will say, the teams do look like they're a little bit of a wash in many places. Jamar Chase versus Justin Jefferson, for instance, is like, oh, that's really, really close, but I give the edge to Jefferson.
yeah.
But then there are other places where it's just, no, I can't really give an edge. Like, Amon Ra against, anybody else, like DJ Moore.
Oh,
I can't,
I would take Amon Ra over
yeah.
DJ Moore any day.
Obviously Travis
But
Kelsey is your
oh yeah,
you're
yeah,
great, but
scared of Kelsey for sure.
funny enough, like Pukanuka is going up against his, his the
Yeah,
player of his name. So,
I know.
that
Oh,
could
dude, and the other element, if I did play Deshaun Watson, Nick has Steelers. Oh no, sorry, I was going back in time thinking that Deshaun Watson was still on the fucking on Houston. So you're right that.
uh oh God, you're right, you're right. I see what you mean. Okay, there you go.
So I mean, I'm definitely taking myself on this matchup.
I would
I
say that's
feel,
fair because I like and I really do think even though you're right, Kirk Cousins has been playing yeah, out of his
and
mind
he's
last
going
couple
against
weeks.
Carolina too, which man, what a soft matchup that is.
Yeah, it could be. Zach Moss has got the Rams. He's got what, Jamar Gibbs or Jameer Gibbs going up against Green Bay. I mean, he's got some interesting matchups. Kansas City going against the Jets. Oof, that could be interesting. That could get a lot of points. But no, I do think that you've got just a few more edges than he has on you. So I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call this one of the closest games of the week. I think this is gonna be a dogfight, but I will also give you the nod.
Okay, okay. Just writing this stuff down.
So let's see. Got some interesting matchups. So here we go. So here's Nate and Will going up against each other. You got
That's I like that matchup because
yeah.
both of those teams are kind of struggling, hobbling right now. So
So they're
nice for
both
them
hungry for a
to
win.
feel like yeah they've got a nice opportunity here. So
I'm
I'm
actually not
curious.
sure who, like, looking at these lineups right now. I'm not really sure which way I would want to go. I
Well, I
mean,
also don't know for sure. I mean, we can only go with what we have right now. Nate's got Justin Fields in at quarterback instead of Dak, which
hmm
I mean, both of those QBs are not looking hot right now. But
no,
I guess we'll just assume that he's going to roll with Fields.
I just don't see anybody else that you would possibly swap on out.
I don't think so.
No, I feel like these are more or less the teams that they'd be rolling with. It's really hard for me. Like, I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on with Derrick Henry. Like, he's not been
Yeah,
impressive this season so far. Like
yeah,
60, 80, and 20. That's how many yards he's had each game. Like, I I don't know. I would say Mahomes with T. Higgins. I mean, I do like CD Lamb. Well, I mean, he really only has the one big game, the 26 from week 2, but Nico Collins had a couple decent starts, but was not good last week. I don't know. I think I am gonna give it to Will for this one.
yeah, I am too. I just think there's more explosive opportunities on Will's team. I mean, you got Mahomes. I mean, that QB matchup alone, Mahomes, I'll take that all day
hmm
over both of his QBs. And then like you got Madison, T. Higgins, Godwin, even Pickens could be good. Lockett is always one of those guys where it's like, oh fuck, I ran into him when he scores 2 touchdowns in one game. Like,
Yep.
I mean, Nate's got Walker, explosive opportunity there, but like you said, don't know what's up with Derrick Henry, and there's just a lot more question marks, I think, on Nate's side. So I feel like my money's got to go on Will right now.
Yeah. It looks like the safer the safer pick, but I don't know. This
Yeah,
could be another very close match.
yeah,
I'd actually say for the next one, why don't we just go to Phil and John?
yeah. This one should be interesting with John's team looking different than last week. I'm sure John is none too pleased to be going up against the highest score back to back weeks. It's just always a rough one when you're 1-2 and you're trying to get right the ship there.
Yeah, and I mean, not to say that John's team isn't primed and ready to go. So he's got Kamara slotted on in, has Waddle back in the lineup. I mean, John's team looks pretty set. Like it looks like it's ready to fucking put up a fight.
I
Um,
like Josh Allen versus Miami. I mean, that could be a big shootout type
hmm
game.
I mean, you also got Jeff. Dude, look at that. Look at the matchups the quarterbacks have. Justin Herbert's against the Raiders.
Yeah, I know that could be a big,
These are two huge
Herbert could go big on that
yeah,
one
these are
too.
both two huge division games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they really are. Shit.
And they've all got a lot of pieces in all of those games too.
Yeah, they do. And the Chargers
That those two
Raiders
games are going to be
game,
big.
yeah,
Are
there's
good.
Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Justin Herbert. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. But I mean, those
Yeah,
are some massive pieces right there.
those are like
Damn, that game's big.
that game. Those I feel like those two games, the Miami, cause because John's also got Waddle. Like so yeah, so the Miami Buffalo game and the Charger Raiders game. Those are going to be two huge matches for this. That's
Yep.
going to determine a lot. Um, I don't know. Right now, I think oh, it's really tough actually because man, like
I
so
think I want to call this one highest scoring matchup of
Okay.
the week.
I can get behind that. Like, so let me ask you something. Whose receivers do you like more?
Let's see, we're talking Waddle, Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper, throw George Kittle in there,
Yeah, throw George Kittle in
Devontae
there.
Adams, Keenan Allen.
And that's it.
I mean, that's it. That's it. It's
Right,
kind of
that's
hard
it.
because there's a different amount. I mean, Devontae
But
Adams and Keenan Allen
yeah,
scored
that's
90 points
yeah,
collectively
that's
last week.
exactly what I'm thinking. Like, okay, so Devontae Adams so far this year, 12, 20, 43. Keenan Allen so far this year, and now they have no Mike Williams, 14,
Mhm.
32, and 47.
God damn, man. Keenan Allen is just busting it out. Gosh, where I'm feeling on this is I can't see enough from John's side to feel that comfort level that he's primed to knock our top scorer off the podium again for a W this week. Like I do think John's going to have a very high scoring week, and if he pulls it out, I won't be shocked either. But on paper, I just can't see enough that makes me think he will rise up and just go that much further above where Phil is at right now.
I mean, Phil has been insanely impressive. There's no doubt about
And
it.
Phil's matchups look good. I mean,
Yeah,
they look good on both sides, but like Phil's been amazing, top scorer. Why I don't see why he wouldn't be in that contention again this week, even looking at the matchups. And he's got the same people basically in play.
I will just say this. Uh, I'm not in love with Javonte Williams and
Well,
Darren
that's just
Waller.
fucked up.
I'm not.
No, I know. No,
I'm
I
not.
know. I'm not either. I'm not either. Yeah, those are the two pieces that have been the weak links for for Phil. So if he doesn't get explosive performances from some of his other guys, that could really factor in the equation there.
Yeah, and
Where I
I mean,
think you look at John's team, we haven't seen Kamara play yet, but and Jacobs has been pretty fucking weak so far. But I don't know.
yeah,
It's a
not
little
great.
more, maybe a little bit more like full team stability.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift has had two really decent games. Miles Sanders had it's like one pretty decent game. I don't know, for some reason my gut is telling me it's Phil's about to have himself a Demartiatic arrest.
Ooh,
Uh and
baby.
John's just gonna take a bite of that shark sandwich and just love it, and just
I like that.
chomp it on down. So I'm
Very poetic.
actually,
Very poetic.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be John this week.
All right. All right. I like it for the team name descriptions involved. Uh, that it's convincing. It's convincing.
Okay, yeah, I mean there are definitely some good team names, and funny enough, okay, so here are two names where I just didn't really get one, or I thought there were just so many shandies that it's just like the I know Joey is getting the shit storm when everybody's talking about his name. And I would say the same. We don't give Nate enough shit, but we probably should. Like the shandy joke has gone far enough.
Yeah, this is a public service announcement slash order.
No more
You got to change. You
shandy.
got to
Yeah,
change. You got to change your team
no more
names.
shandy
You
jokes.
just,
No.
you have
And
to.
the other one where I didn't even get it because I wasn't really following, so I had no fucking idea who fuck Bijan Robinson was. So when I saw Honey Bijan, I'm just okay. All right,
Still hasn't passed the eye test.
you're right. Has not passed
Just
my eye test. I have not
because I'm
actually
not
watched
watching
it.
them.
No, I'm not watching him. I'm not seeing it. Um,
Okay, so we got a Chris and a Joey matchup. Chris is looking to get right. He needs that
he is.
first
He really
first
does.
W, big time, big
Ugh.
time. And
And
Joey's we
I
said,
don't.
Joey's team's looking pretty
Yeah, I
solid.
don't think Joey wants to give it to him. Like looking at Joey's team, there's some really scary pieces. I will say the Tyreek Hill is obviously super scary, but yeah, Tony Pollard is like he's got a decent floor. Like if 16 is the lowest he's done so
Yeah,
far, like not to say that Bijan Robinson hasn't been very impressive, but he went from 20, 22 to just 10 last week.
yep.
So you need a little bit more. Like Chris's wide receivers, I don't think you
Chris
can.
has made a couple little lineup adjustments
He
this last week
has,
too. Yeah, I see Isaiah Pacheco in at flex, and then I mean you have to at this point. You've got this Sam Laporta guy has just been busting onto the scene here, so I can totally understand putting
yeah,
that in at flex
yep,
and
I see it. Yep,
yep, dropping. Let's see what no more Zay Flowers and who else? He maybe no more
Addison
Jaden Reed.
or
Oh
Jordan
yeah,
Addison.
Addison. Yeah, that's right. So looks like he's dropping a couple guys that are maybe not super explosive and then
Mm-mm.
putting in some new guys who maybe have a little bit more potential upside. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's thinking. Or playing the matchups because Kansas City versus the Jets, like that could be a big could be a running game a little bit if they go up a lot, in the first half. Like are they gonna have to throw it a bunch? So maybe they would feed Pacheco a little bit.
Yeah, man.
So understandable. But on the other side, Joey's team looking well, he put Tutu Atwell. That's a new piece for his team. I think he finally is done with Drake London
mhm.
or Rashad White. I'm not sure who he had in before between those guys. So there's a new little piece, but otherwise his team is the same. Um, yeah, how are you feeling on this one?
The funny thing is I feel that while Chris really, really does need that win, and Lamar, I mean, has been looking great the last 2 weeks. I like him definitely much like, I mean, not to say that Purdy's been, terrible. Purdy put up 20 fucking
But
24
not
last
not
week.
the same
Yeah,
not
not
the
the
same
same
ceiling.
potential. Right, exactly. That a Lamar could go. But dude, I don't know. Like when you got players like Tyreek in your lineup, I mean, this guy 44, 15, 31. What the fuck is he going to go for in a division game against Buffalo?
Buffalo, yeah, could be a big one. But um, Waddle's back, so I don't know if that eats into Tyreek a little bit.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, but funny thing, he's gotten a touchdown every single game.
Yeah, true. He is pretty whatever, anything proof.
Yeah. I don't know. I really want Chris to get that over that 0 and 3 hump because going 0 and 4 that'd be tough to recover from. Not to say that we haven't seen it because we have. We've seen people come all the way back from 0 and 6. But oh god, I feel like I don't know. I'm not feeling good about it. I'm leaning towards Joey.
Man, I know we called or I called my matchup with Nick as the closest matchup of the week, but I'm also feeling like this one could be a really close
It
matchup.
could be.
Yeah. But I think I have to agree with you. It just Joey's team, I don't know why his team would all of a sudden change from how it's been this year so far. It's been solid. Same guys in there for the most part. And Chris is kind of rolling out, with couple new pieces and just a few, he's still got the Jerome Ford guy in there. So I don't know. Chris is just tinkering for dear life as you have to in
Hmm.
this situation, but I just feel like my confidence level is just higher on Joey's side right now.
Yeah. I You never know what's going to happen come Sunday, but Well, I mean,
I don't want to have an 0-4 team in the league, just in general for just the spirit, the competition, everybody's involvement. It's nice to just have everybody still feeling like, they're not too far out of it. So I'd prefer if we didn't have an 0-4 team, but
well, I tell you
it's
what.
hard to just look at the matchup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, knowing that, okay, so it sounds like we're all picking the same for on this one, right? For
Yep.
Joe. So speaking of another thing I don't want, I do not want a 4-0 team. Desperately don't
I
want
do
a 4.
not want a 4-0 team at all.
But man, Misha has been killing his opponents. So I'm not sure how this is going to play on out. I feel I am very confident about a lot of pieces on my team. I think I've got some interesting matchups this week. So I think it's going to be a big fight, but
Man, I love this matchup.
I'm nervous as hell. And
I love this matchup.
I have huge question marks right now on my running backs because both running backs are practicing. They're
Oh, right.
limited. Like
Ooh, here's
Eck,
the dude. What?
Eckler
Oh my
just
God.
returned to practice, and Aaron Jones has been like limited, but he's playing tomorrow. So
But what would you do if both of them are active? I mean, I can see Roshan Johnson, get him out of there.
oh,
That seems like a
he's getting out of
no-brainer,
there.
but
So you want to you're asking whether or not I'm keeping in what is it, A
HN,
Chain?
yeah.
I would say after that performance, he has certainly earned a very close eye because dude, I was watching that game. He looked fucking legit, and maybe it's just that Denver is that bad, and maybe they'll just make anybody look amazing, which is very possible. But he is seriously worth the consideration. If both of them were active, ooh, you know what? Actually, hold on one second. So Eckler is just returning to practice this week. It is a division
Hmm.
game against the Raiders, but they have a bye
Yep.
next week.
Ooh, so they could just
They
give him
could,
that extra rest.
yes, like so. I don't.
Although Joshua Kelly has looked fucking terrible, so they might need him for this division game.
Dude, I think the Chargers need wins. Like they are, dude. What's
Yeah,
his
they
name?
do.
What's his name is fucking on the hottest of hot seats. I think.
The coach,
Yeah, dude. Oh my God, that guy should have been fired after the Jacksonville game.
yeah, he
But
got bailed out last week.
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. So this is it's certainly interesting. But okay, so uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel Misha's got a lot of really really solid pieces. I don't know what's gonna happen. Right now, as it stands, I think I'm going to have to vote for Misha. If I get lucky enough and I can pop an Eckler in, if I can pop a Jones in, I feel like I'm going to be feeling a lot more confident. And by the way, asking about the pieces that would possibly go on out, Debo didn't practice this week. So I don't know. I might not have him available. So he could possibly be an easy pop out. And I will say, Mark Andrews has other than that the first time he was available, I've not been terribly impressed. Um, so I don't know. That's a possibility there as well. But I think even still, for the record, regardless of what happens tomorrow, if I can pop in Aaron Jones or not, I'd love that. I'd love to be able to have an Aaron Jones. I'd love to be able to have my Eckler back. I think that would give me much more confidence in being able to slay the dragon that is the Buzzsaw Misha. But yeah, right now I'm going to give him an edge.
Fair enough. I'm picking you
Oh,
for. I can't pick Misha.
fair,
The grudge continues. Let's just put it that
fair
way.
enough, fair enough, fair enough.
I need to will it into existence
Hey,
that we will not have an undefeated team after this week, and
I'm there.
not just those kind of goofy things, but like I mean, I could see you having a big week, especially if you are able to get an Eckler and an Aaron Jones or any of those guys back. I mean, that
Mm,
should upgrade. And I just love the matchup that you've got Achan and Mostert, at least right now, that are both in there. I think that's just fun
yeah.
from an outside perspective. Like who's gonna win that matchup?
I don't think anybody
You've got
actually knows because that was really impressive by both running backs last week. And
yeah.
yeah,
You were not
the
really able to get much of a read on like what's the future going to look like because it was just such like an anomaly situation.
Yeah, I think I really do feel like I'd like to figure out a way if he keeps up performing the way he is, I'd like to find a way to get him in my lineup. You know who else is somebody I'd like to try to figure out a way to get into my lineup? Because the
Adam
last couple,
Thielen.
dude, I tried to get him back because I did end up dropping him earlier because I was just out of room, and then I've been watching it, and holy fuck, I know the Panthers are fucking garbage, but dude, he is getting
No, he
production.
is some kind of resurgence here
Yeah.
that looks potentially real. And the Carolina Panthers look so bad. I think they're going to be playing
Yes.
from behind
A
most games.
lot. Yes,
So
I want to figure
yeah,
out a way to get that in my lineup too. So it's I have a
you got
bunch of
decisions.
I have a lot of
Decisions.
decisions, but right now because it's so murky and I can't see through the fog just yet, the dragon's cave is up in front of me. So I'm gonna grab my sword, I'm gonna grab my shield, and I'm gonna go venture off into the fucking den uh, and slay this beast. But until I can see it clearly, I'm gonna have to give the edge to the dragon right now.
That's fair. All right. Well, we'll split that one.
Okay.
I'm picking your team. I
All
also
right.
hope that Tua just has a nice passing attack game, and maybe there's not a need to get so much running back involvement. That could be helpful if that is
Yeah.
the script of the game for you.
I mean, yeah, dude, he threw 4 touchdowns last time. I mean, it wasn't like the running backs or sorry, were taking over everything. I mean,
He was throwing
yeah,
touchdowns to
to
the
the
running
running backs.
backs.
Like so, I mean, I guess we'll just see what happens. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, okay. So
Okay.
I think we're all
That's it.
set, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
everybody.
It's all of them. I got them logged. We agree on every single one. Oh, and actually, there are two
Yeah, two
matchups
we
that we have
split, right?
two we split. So yeah, we should try and get another podcast going next week and keep this rolling on. Maybe we can try to grab somebody else to come on here with us and
Yep.
see how these pick'ems are doing. And hopefully, we don't have a undefeated team when we talk again next week.
And hopefully we don't have a winless team.
True. Yeah, let's get it nice and tight in those standings.
Let us go all the way back. What a beautiful circle. We started this whole thing talking about the log jam. Let us end it with saying that we hope we are all on our way to that beautiful, beautiful log jam once again.
Let's keep it tight. Keep it nice and tight.
Yes, absolutely. All right, boys. Keeping it
All
tight,
right.
keeping it real. I guess we will catch you guys next time.
All right. Later, boys.
Peace.